Our guests are still here. Ndungi Githuku, voter in Kabete, human rights advocate, and Eric Muriuki, advocate of the High Court. They're here. Ndungi and others in Kabete constituency have decided they want to do something. And this is, look at their MP, Mr. James Gedua Kamau Wamashukuru, and they want to recall him. Akuje waongea hapa nyuma ya tent kidogo
ndio aende
ndio pole pole.
Actually, the interpretation of this activity is in line with the constitution. What we are seeing is a really simple matter. The sovereign have said, look, folks, we need to realign this thing. We are the sovereign and we delegated power to you. Not you, the sovereign, who delegated power to us. So, since you don't seem to understand this whole sovereign thing and MP thing, and yet you are a member of parliament and you're allowed to create laws because we have a law-making parliament, let's bring you back for education. Come back so that now we can have this conversation again. And if we find you unfit, because we actually think you're unfit now, we'll find somebody else who we think will fit the bill.
For people who are new to Jerusalem, this is actually a right provided in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 104, like Wakili Muriuki told us, and also in a piece of legislation, the Elections Act. And there's a procedure for it, for recalling members of parliament. So now, Wakili,
yes,
we don't need to go back to the proverb, but just for purposes of good order, City, let's begin the hour with the day's proverb.
Yes, and I will include my own thoughts on it, and I will also take in Ndu's comment on it. Do not, yes, exactly. Do not blame God for creating this big cat, okay? According to them, it was a tiger, but we're calling it a leopard tiger.
Okay.
But thank him for not giving it wings.
Thank him for not giving it wings.
Yes. Flying leopard. Shida
kubwa. Shida kubwa. Someone said, reminded, it's always look at the bright side of life. That's what Wakili said, right? Yes. Always look on the bright side of life.
Is that
Yeah.
Yes.
Nini majina ndio maana float up.
Wakili, take us through this process now.
So the right, let me just begin with the Constitution briefly, is provided under Article 104.
Okay.
And what the Constitution requires members of Parliament to do is to legislate on grounds and the procedure. The grounds that were there in the Elections Act were found to be unconstitutional. However, the court did say that we have Chapter 6, we have the Leadership and Integrity Act, and we have the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. Yes, so the grounds are there. On top of that, when the members of parliament, in response to that judgment, did go back to legislate on the County Governments Act for the process of removal of MCAs, they did legislate some grounds which I think would now pass the constitutional test. And the ones that are there in the County Governments Act are gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. We have gross misconduct. We have incompetence. And finally, we have being guilty of an offense punishable by a jail term of more than 6 months. That is as far as the grounds are concerned.
Okay.
Let's come to the procedure. Some aspects of the procedure in the Elections Act were struck out for being unconstitutional, but some remained still. And just like I've mentioned previously, the Parliament did align the process of removal of MCAs with the Constitution, but they haven't yet aligned the process of removal of an MP with the Constitution. So what is the procedure? You're supposed to have a petition in writing signed by a voter who votes in that, or who is registered to vote in that constituency.
Okay.
And this petition is to be submitted to the IEBC.
Signed by one voter is enough?
One voter is the petitioner.
Okay.
You are the petitioner.
Okay.
But then you have the support of the 30% of the registered voters.
Supported by 30%.
Yes.
In the case of Kabete constituency, there are 98,000 registered voters. Did I get that right?
Yes.
So we're looking for 30% of this.
Yes.
30% of this is what's around 30,000. So 30,000 registered voters.
Around 32.
Yes,
There.
thereabouts. And when I look at these requirements, with my legal lens, it is to safeguard against what she asked about. Mischief of, I don't like this person, I want to. Because by the time you have 30% of constituents signing, this thing, it means you've really not done your bit. And it cannot be that 30%. And when you look at even the MPs that are in parliament, most of them, they don't get there with even 30% of the vote,
approval.
because you have 6-7 candidates. You have one with 18,000 who is probably leading, another one with 15,000, another one with 16,000, things like that. But let's go back to the process.
Okay. Petition signed by a voter supported by 30%
Yes.
of registered voters in that constituency.
Yes, and the petition is supposed to specify the grounds for removal. Like Ndungi's petition, when I had it, it has laid out the grounds. That requirement that there be a concurring judgment of the High Court confirming these grounds, was removed. It's unconstitutional. So the grounds that you have there, those are your grounds, and they should be sufficient. That list that you're collecting should have names, address, national ID number, a voter's card number, or passport number, and then signature or thumbprint.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be at least 15% of the voters in more than half of the wards in the county or constituency. So if Kabete has 5 wards, more than half is 3 wards. Have at least 15%, in those 3 wards.
In those 3 wards.
And this is also to avoid a mischief whereby you find like some constituencies, they have 1 ward which has so many voters, and the person elected is not from that ward, and you don't like this person, and you go and just get the people from...
So one region can't remove an MP.
Yes, and there is actually a legal requirement that the people signing that petition reflect the diversity of the constituency.
Okay.
Do not have the people of one religion or the people of one gender, people of... let it be diverse.
Sawa.
And then the commission... The commission... the petition is to be submitted to the commission. That petition, the commission is the IEBC. The commission will verify those names within a period of 30 days of receiving the list. And if it is satisfied that those signatures are good, within 15 days it issues a notice of recall to the speaker.
Within 15 days. So all they need to do is don't even look at the grounds. All they need to do is look at the petitioners.
Yes, just
make sure
just have your petition specify the grounds that you have written the way he has said. Then have those signatures. Let the signatures be enough.
Receipt and confirmation of them, though. Receipt and confirmation of signatures, or just receipt?
The verification of signatures is a duty of the IEBC.
Okay.
However, if you do not want to shoot yourself in the foot,
you better do it.
You better make sure that the people who are signing are genuine people, they are voters. And
my question was,
won't cost you.
Does the IEBC have any mandate to look at the specificity of these grounds, to look whether these grounds, meet this threshold, gross violation, gross misconduct, incompetence, or does the IEBC just look at the number of people who have signed this petition meets the threshold, the diversity of the people who have signed this petition meets the threshold, and that's it?
So when you look at even the IEBC, the name itself, the first word there is independent. It is supposed to be independent so that it can safeguard, against some excesses, either by the voter or by the contestant or by the MP. So yes, it is supposed to look at the grounds and at least, confirm that it is something that makes sense. For example, you can't sign a recall petition on the grounds that I borrowed this MP 10,000 shillings and he didn't give me, or
he's taking people's wives.
Well, that is actually gross misconduct.
The wives are willing, it's still gross misconduct.
Depending on how you look at it.
Sorry.
That one will take us back to chapter 6, the conduct of
right.
of a state officer. But before we get sidetracked, I want to finish.
So within
that process.
45 days of Ndungi presenting their petition to the IEBC, the speaker can be notified of
the recall. And then the commission is then supposed to conduct a recall election within the relevant constituency within 90 days. And this recall election will be framed in such a way that it attracts a yes or no answer.
It's like a mini referendum.
Yes.
Do we recall this MP or does he remain?
Yes. So it's framed in such a way that the answer is yes
Or no?
or no.
Okay. So
Now,
it's basically like a referendum telling all the voters in Kabete, now come
yes,
and say whether you support this recall or you do not support the recall.
exactly.
And if the people say yes, then the MP is recalled.
Yes. So
And the people, if a majority say no,
before we get there, let's just look at how that mini referendum is done.
sawa.
It is supposed to, first of all, be framed, yes, in such a way that it attracts a yes or no answer, and then the commission can assign a symbol for each. I don't know if you
Chungwa
remember
and
the 2005 referendum. We had the chungwa and the banana, the orange.
Kwetu itaweza
for
kuwa
no.
gate na
Kitu kingine na unga.
And then a recall election is decided by a simple majority. The voting is, of course, by secret ballot. And then, where a recall election results in the removal of that member of parliament, the commission is supposed to conduct a by-election in the affected constituency or county. And in a way that answers one of the questions that was asked earlier, a recalled member of parliament has the leeway to contest again in that by-election. So
Okay.
and the rationale behind this is simple. The people are the people. Sovereign power belongs to the people. And they can decide to recall you and still put you back in that position.
So let me ask the question. So if we are talking about the people,
Yes.
does the Mheshimiwa also qualify to be one of the people?
He is one of the
So
people.
you're saying his rights to stand is now being honored. So, okay, you
Yes.
were told come back, but just in case.
Yes. Go confirm.
Yeah. You can also stand so that we can now confirm we really didn't want you.
But it must be subject to the other parts of the law now.
Yes.
If, for example, it was an issue that violates the Leadership and Integrity Act,
Yes.
if it is a matter that violates all those, then you can be disbarred by the IEBC
Exactly.
from qualifying as a candidate.
Exactly.
So you go back
Exactly.
to now, do you qualify as a
Yes.
candidate?
Yes,
Okay.
there is that, and there's also maybe election offences. Because the judgment, and when I say the judgment, I'm referring to the Katiba Institute judgment. It said, of course, that right of the recalled MP to stand for election is subject to any disqualifications that can be in the other laws, such as the Leadership and Integrity, the Elections Act, and I think that is that. If you have followed, I think we have laid down the procedure quite well, unless there's
So
something I have.
within a year, you can have a new MP in an area.
Not even a year. A year is
It's pushing it.
a year is long. 6 months. from the start of collecting the signatures and verification and declaration
Because I'm imagining that after, if the yes vote carries in the mini referendum, then the IEBC has to conduct an election, and then there's another 90 days for them to conduct an election.
Yes. So actually, there's two elections.
So we have 180 days between the mini referendum for the mini referendum and the by-election, and we have 45 days prior. And then there's, depending on how long can Ndungi take to collect those signatures that meet the threshold, another, let's say, 30 days. So we are saying a couple of...
But note that the word is within this period. So it doesn't have to be that you wait for the whole 90 days.
True.
Yeah,
You can even do those things following each other.
So, okay, we're talking about all of these things in the context of that there is a functioning IEBC in place.
Yes.
That all of these things happen when an IEBC, with all its commissioners as it was constitutionally instituted to be, that these things would happen in this time frame that we speak of. Now, we cannot run away from the unique position that Kenya is in today, where there is no constituted IEBC when it comes to the commissioners. Now, in order for any kind of election or boundary activation process to take place, you must have your commissioners in place. The IEBC must be complete. So we cannot run away from the reality that this body that you need to activate this thing currently doesn't exist. So from a legal point of view, as well as from a social capital point of view, where the people are saying 1, 2, 3, how does it compound this particular recall activity that the people of Kabete are currently involved in, and that the people of many a constituency for whom the murmurings we have already started to hear then hinge upon? How does it compound that, and what should the call be?
So do I go first? Or? Okay. So first of all, our law does not envisage a vacuum in the IEBC, because the IEBC Act provides for
permanent commission.
Sorry?
A permanent commission.
Well,
One that exists.
or ways of making sure there are no vacuum. And one of those ways is that if members are retiring or their terms are expiring, you begin the process of replacement 6 months prior to the expiry of their term, so that by the time these guys are exiting, there are others ready to go in. And when the members of the commission have been removed, for example, through the commission of inquiry has happened recently, there are timelines, 14 days for which to start the process of replacing them. So what we have right now is a failure of the people in those positions who are required to do those things that lead to replacing the commissioners. And this is a function that belongs to the presidency. The president is supposed to activate the commencement of the replacement of the IEBC. The reason why, according to me, the reason why we have this failure and the president has not done what he's supposed to do is, of course, there's a couple of things. I'm sure you're all aware there's a NADCO process that was ongoing, and one of the things in issue was this IEBC thing. But the other more serious problem, in my opinion, is having a parliament that cannot keep the executive in check. Because things like failing to constitute the IEBC within the set timeline, that should be grounds enough for Parliament to institute disciplinary measures against the president, who is supposed to do that. And if we have a Parliament, that cannot do what it is supposed to do, that cannot perform its constitutional mandate, then that means the other people will also get away with not performing the functions that they're supposed to do, because this parliament is what is supposed to keep them in check. But indeed, as you have said, there is a practical challenge, because now we have 2 elections in a recall process. The recall mini referendum, let's call it that way, and now if it's successful, the resultant by election. And Even the process of verification of those voters, it's supposed to be confirmed. Yes, it's supposed to be conducted by the commission.
Yeah.
This issue came up in the BBI controversy on verification of signatures for the referendum, and the issue was whether the commission was quorate or it had the quorum, it had the numbers of commissioners, to verify the signature. So something as seemingly simple or seemingly easy as verifying those signatures is a decision that has to be performed by the commission, and the commission is the commissioners.
Okay.
But we do not have, so we have an artificial crisis.
Just let me ask this question. So you're saying the commission is the commissioners?
Well,
no, in terms of functions.
Under decision making.
Yes.
Because the commissioners, they are the highest, decision-making organ of that IEBC. We have the secretariat, yes, but the secretariat is to support, the decisions and implement the policies.
They are involved in the day-to-day running of the
yes.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
So now, when petitions are taken, let's say how many commissions do we envision having?
7 is what the law currently provides, although I know there's a push to amend so that they are 9.
All right, let's say 12, okay? Would they be in a position to actually verify signatures of the nature we speak of?
Well, the commissioners themselves do not sit and verify the signatures. That one is done by the secretariat and the employees, but it is the commissioners who have to sign off on it and take responsibility for the decisions of the commission. So a commission without commissioners is like a car without an engine.
Okay. It looks more like a car without a windscreen. So
Now the question is, all those things, the first point of call is IEBC. Andu asked, you're aware that there is no IEBC, are you? So what's the plan?
Yeah, we are aware that there is no IEBC. And one of the demands, now there's a national demand that the people of Kenya have, as they continue chanting Ruto must go, and we have gotten some of the gains, is that the IEBC must be constituted. The commissioners have to be put in place. And he has spoken, just like he did with the finance bill, by saying that he has listened to the voice of the people. So that is one of the things we are waiting for. In case that doesn't happen, what we are discussing in Kabete is that, as my brother Wakili here has said, we cannot be in a vacuum at any moment on this process and other processes of law in Kenya. So what will happen is that we'll go to the High Court for an interpretation. What does this mean? The commission is not there.
We want
in
our
place.
MP
So
to be
tutaenda
recalled.
kotini, tuseme, sasa tuambieni, tuende wapi. So this is not in vain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, if the president says, like he had said, that he's going to sign the IEBC amendment bill into law within this week, and then they start that whole journey of the selection panel recruitment, maybe within the next 40 days or 60 days, you can have an IEBC. Are you willing to wait that long?
Well, first and foremost is that it will be wonderful that we'll have already collected the signatures. We'll already have done the petition. So the commissioners that will come in will find the entry with the Kabete petition.
Their work cut out for them.
It will be cut out for them. But the thing is that we believe in the process. We believe in the constitution. We believe in the law. So we trust that actually the president will listen to the voices of the people again this time, so that we have this in place tuache kupotezeana wakati sana. Yeah.
Who's funding your campaign?
We, the people, we are funding our campaign. There are people who have actually come out or to trying to approach us, saying that I would anonymously like to contribute, but we have said no. We have said we don't want to be funded, first and foremost, by people who we don't know, in terms of are they from Kabete or are they not from Kabete. So what we are doing, like with the printing of the forms, tunachanga tu kwa group. Like for me in Mumuto, I don't need much to print 10 forms. It's like 100 bob. Why should I go looking for money for that? Okay. So we are very alert on traps that money comes along with. We do not want this same MP to send somebody to give us money so that we start scuttling, so that we start fighting. Already, there is a chief whose name I won't mention, who has approached us, and he has said, if we do like 2 mic, can't we talk? I mean, 2 million shillings. 2 million shillings is the amount that these MPs were given to vote yes. And when we did the calculations with Kabete, 98,000 voters, divided by 2 million, ilikuwa nika 20 bob. It was even less than what yes waliuzwa. Yes waliuzwa 30 pieces of silver. Na sasa huyu ametuuza 20 pieces. Hata wanaangusha bei ya kuuza mtu.
Okay.
So we don't want money. We don't want money. Already we have officially applied for the official register at the IEBC. Na hiyo pesa itakuja around 21,000. Okay? That money we can be able to get from the people of Kabete themselves, and we'll be accountable.
Ndungi, I am curious as to what the response is from the Member of Parliament, because you did meet him and you returned the unga, isn't it?
We didn't meet him, but
you didn't meet him?
He ran away.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, so I'm curious as to what his response to all of this has been so far, in terms of what you must have heard the grapevine. Usually, is a wash, with stuff. Ametuma chief.
Ya kwanza ni hiyo, ametuma chief. Chief akatu offer 2 million, tukakataa.
So that you can keep quiet.
Yeah, so that we can keep quiet. But we have refused to keep quiet. We have refused to receive any money. The other thing is, I told you that one of the grounds ambayo tunamtoa nayo is haongeagi in parliament. Kwa hivyo hata sisi hatuongeleshagi. Actually, since the time we started this process, we haven't seen or heard from the MP, Githuku Mashukuru, in Kabete. We don't know where he is.
So he ran away. Where
I think he's run away because most of them are not here. Wanaenda na to probox sahi. So Githuku Mashukuru and his big VX is black. We know the number plate. Hatujaiona in Kabete. So we are happy and sad. Happy that the people's voices are making these MPs scatter.
But then even now he's not working.
But even now he's not working. So if he's not working in parliament, he's not working with the people.
This one of working in parliament, be fair to the man, all right?
Yes.
He does not give himself the mic to speak on the floor of the house.
He doesn't. And that is one of the reasons we sent him to parliament, to get the mic and to speak on the behalf of the people of Kabete.
It's a speaker's job. It's a speaker's... If I put in my request to speak, and the speaker does, and I don't catch the speaker's eye, that's something use. If I don't catch the speaker's eye,
then you shouldn't be in parliament.
My people cannot really.
Yeah. If you don't catch the speaker's eye, then you should not be in parliament. You are in parliament to catch the speaker's eye.
But also, a bulk of parliamentary work is done in committee.
Yes, it is.
Do you know which committees your MP belongs to?
This is interesting. Hata sidhani najua.
That's a problem now.
Yeah. Sidhani najua.
This is problem number 1. If the people do not understand the role and the functions and how an MP works, how can they start now?
You see also, it is the
because
duty
you're looking
of
at gate. That is not the job of an MP. Gate. If I said
he's more active.
If the school administration has decided to put up a gate and put my name on it, why are you crucifying me? Ask the school head.
We are going to ask the school heads as well when they come back from Dubai.
If the CDF committee sends members of certain to Dubai, I am not the patron. I am not the chairman of the CDF. I am not the executive of the CDF. I play no role.
I don't even decide how money is spent.
I don't even. CDF. Yes, in CDF, I have no role to play. And the CDF local constituency committee has taken people to parliament. I'm as flabbergasted as the rest of us, Kabete people.
Yeah.
Now you are taking it on me. Let's take it on the CDF.
Yes. But that's the academic aspect of this discussion. People know the MPs.
Yes.
They know how influence is peddled. They know the people who are used to peddle this influence. But more importantly, they're also very, very keenly aware of what is happening in the country and what is happening elsewhere. They even know how this MP was elected in the first place. who he sided with. So there are many things that they know that they probably cannot put in writing and say, unajua, we cannot put this in petition because it doesn't follow the law or the processes that would actually get them what they want. Even if we put that aside, they are tired of the MP, okay? They are fed up.
Tired.
So now if you're looking for reasons to fill in the gaps, they are fed up. They don't want the